special council meeting of December 30th, 2019. I need the clerk. Please call the roll.
Mr. Morales.
Here.
Mr. Parker.
Here.
Mr. Wertz.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Chairman Carey.
Here, we're all present. Councilman Parker is with us via telephone tonight. He's out on the West Coast. Okay. First of all, I would like you all to be advised that City Council held an executive session on Monday, December 23rd, 2019, to discuss the potential purchase of real property located at 735 Cumberland Street. This is a valid reason for an executive session as per the Sunshine Law. A final agreement of sale with the HAC Board of Trustees has not been reached at this point of time. Resolution number 37 would authorize the mayor to continue to finalize the specific details. At this time, we would like to have the mayor provide a presentation on the project. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the city has been discussing a move to the downtown for many years now, and in fact, other mayors' administrations have discussed this topic as well. Is this one? Test. This is the good one though, right? Test, test.
Testing.
Test. Test, test, test. Test.
Test, test.
Test.
Testing.
There we go. Hopefully I have the good one. If not, I'm going to keep this one too. Okay. The city has been discussing a move to the downtown for many years now, and in fact, several mayors' administrations have discussed this topic as well. During my tenure, we hired a business improvement district consultant to perform an assessment of the downtown area, and the consultant shared that the city's downtown core lacked serious retail and pedestrian traffic. At the same time, the city was finalizing our economic development plan entitled Grow Lebanon. The Grow Lebanon 2020 plan offers a nonpartisan vision for our city's current and future generations. It is designed to engage all of our city's residents with action items required to make Lebanon a destination, a community, and a place to live and work. Many community members and leaders provided valuable input into the creation of this plan. One action item in particular is to relocate city offices to the Central Business District. The CBD is the same as the bid area. Several stakeholder discussions identified the potential relocation of the city offices to a location within the Central Business District as a desired and potentially beneficial outcome for the urban core. Many smaller cities throughout the country have recognized the benefits of ensuring that municipal and public services remain in the urban center, not only for the convenience and greater access of all residents, but also for the added benefits for city employees and customers to frequent downtown businesses. Public investment such as this can lead to private sector development and businesses to support that activity, having a catalytic impact on the downtown as a whole. The Grow Lebanon 2020 plan encourages the city to consider and advance any master facility planning to include the relocation of the city operations and support functions to the Central Business District. My administration has been working on a couple different relocation options over the last couple years. We looked at other existing buildings for repurposing like the Mann Building, the former YMCA, and the Edible Arrangements Scott Church Building. None worked for various reasons. Then we looked into building new city offices with a parking garage at 9th and Cumberland Streets. We applied for RCAP funding in February of 2017, but did not receive an award. In February of 2018, we changed the location to 7th and Willow Streets and applied a second time with no award. On our third submission, submitted in January of this year, we switched back to 9th and Cumberland Streets and took on a partner, Lebanon Transit. We added an intermodal transit center to our project. We were awarded a $2 million RCAP in August of this year, not the $8 million we requested, but a start. We will need to amend our RCAP application to the 7th and Willow Streets location, but we do not believe that that will be a problem. Additionally, with our new partner, Lebanon Transit, we will work with them to apply for federal monies through the intermodal funding for the transit center and parking garage. The parking garage is the long-term solution to meet the parking needs of the downtown. Lebanon is the only third-class city with a population over 10,000 that does not even have one municipal parking garage. Also, as we dug deeper into our due diligence, we discovered that there had been talk about the need for a parking garage when HAC first was under construction back in the late 80s. We will reapply for additional RCAP funding, and we will work with Lebanon Transit to apply for those federal intermodal monies to address the next phase, which would include the parking garage. While we were figuring out how we could move forward with phasing our project for construction of City Hall at 9th and Cumberland Streets, Dr. Ski, the president of HAC, contacted me and informed me that HAC was considering the sale of some of their campuses college-wide. I put together an advisory committee consisting of Tom Siegel, a CPA and partner with Stanilla, Siegel and Mazer, Jim Castle, a CPA and partner with RKL, and Jim is here this evening if you want to raise your hand, Jim. Bob Hoffman, a registered architect and partner with Beers and Huffman. Joe Connor, a registered architect with Beers and Hoffman. Like to raise your hand? Bob Funk, a professional engineer and president of Arthur Funk & Son. Not sure if Bob Funk is here, no. Melissa, who is the director of administration, and myself. The committee with both parties' legal representatives have been working on an agreement of sale, which is not finalized yet. However, I can share that we verbally offered a $2.2 million purchase price, with HAC being able to remain in the building with use of the third floor and second floor lab rent-free for 5 years. HAC would pay its pro-rata share of all utilities during this 5-year period of time. HAC would be able to utilize up to 35 parking spaces on a nearby lot. I must stress that we continue to work out the specific details of the agreement of sale. There are some contingencies of the sale that I can discuss. The city being able to negotiate a price with the county to purchase the city's portion of the county city municipal building, the Office of Budget agreeing to relocate the RCAP grant funding to the HAC site. City Council must approve the purchase of the HAC property, and the county commissioners must vote to buy the city's portion of the municipal building. Let's take a look at what the campus may look like. At the HAC campus, we would construct a 5,305 square foot addition to the rear. That would be that darkened area to the left near the bottom. This would include a 10-car, 3,493 square foot indoor garage for the police department, a car impound, storage, and secure corridor for the police department. It is very similar. It's actually a little bit bigger than what they have now. Proposed total square footage for city use at the HAC campus without the main lobby area represents a little more than 28,000 square feet. The police and public safety departments would really recognize the most benefit with increased area. Their departments are the most cramped now. Currently at the existing County City Municipal Building, the city uses about 18,000 square feet, not including restrooms or common areas. Interior renovations for the police department, and the police department is actually in that kind of blue shaded color, includes 7,629 square feet, which includes a record storage room, men's and women's locker rooms with shower, a squad platoon room, the OIC room, evidence prep area, a laboratory, interview rooms, support services, a traffic room, a public counter, and a record storage room. A detective's room in the front next to the orange area, and 4 offices including chief, captain, sergeant, and administrative assistant office, and men's and women's restrooms. Currently they have a little over 5,000 square feet of area, so they definitely would see added space. Interior renovations for the fire department, which would be the 2 red blocks inside that orange area, includes approximately 356 square feet. That would be an office for the fire commissioner and storage, and an office for a volunteer chief. Code enforcement is that orange colored area surrounding the red, because the fire commissioner is within the Department of Public Safety, so the Department of Public Safety is the orange and red areas. Code enforcement interior renovations includes approximately 3,400 square feet on the first floor. It includes a public counter, meeting rooms, storage rooms, file storage rooms, supervisor's office, and 6 inspector offices and conference room. With the fire department right now, they have 1,388 square feet, so they would more than double, which again, the police and public safety have the most need for space. The finance department would move over to the green area. That is currently where the bookstore is. Their interior renovations would include approximately 1,540 square feet, and the large square on the most northern end of it, that would be a vault. Currently we have 3 vaults. We would combine everything into 1 large vault. And again, they would have a public counter and office area. The first floor renovations also would include the repurposing of the approximately 2,745 square feet of multi-purpose room as council chambers. So currently where the equipment is for the sound and the projecting, the screens that drop down, we would build a council kind of platform that would be movable. So we could still use a multi-purpose room for similar events to how it's being used today, but it would be council chambers, and we could move the council chambers desk area, or whatever you would want to call that, their platform. It would be on rolling, locked rollers that would be in place but would make it more professional. The second floor would include 6,607 square feet of administrative functions, which is in the pink. That would include the offices of city clerk, the director of administration, community development. We usually pick up a couple interns during the year. The mayor's office, a conference room, storage, restroom, my aid, a waiting room, an IT office, a server room, as well as additional storage or flex office space. We would have a 735 square foot shared public counter area with public works and administration. So if you see the tan area, the tan is public works. And in the front, the pink slashes, that would be a shared area for public works and admin that we could share receptionists, the people who work with the public, who interact on the front line. We would also have a kitchenette adjacent to that space. The public works, again, is in tan. That would represent a little over 2,000 square feet, and that would include the zoning officer, recycling coordinator, the public works director, a scanner and storage area, and a conference room. They actually would, they currently have 2,600 plus square feet. They would actually lose a little bit, but we no longer have an engineering division on site. So there's not as much of a need for space in public works. Access is maintained on the second floor for HAC to the dark brown area in the center. which is 2,184 square feet of laboratory space. And additionally, they would have the entire third floor. So again, the dark brown color. The third floor represents 19,550 square feet of space. So they would have that, and the lab, which is 2,184. So they would have a little over 21,600 plus square feet of use in the building. Currently, we utilize 17,250 square feet of net area here in this building. And again, that doesn't include the restrooms or the lobby or the stairwells. And currently, the police department has a 10-bay garage here now. So relocating would provide a better layout for shared personnel and more space in general. So if we move forward with the project, and this is preliminary, HAC would continue as is with utilizing the entire building until the end of the spring 2020 break. During the summer of 2020, they would propose to close the campus and remodel the third floor, and then they would reopen for the fall semester in their new area. The city would be able to mobilize our construction crews in September of 2020 and start construction of the police garage and the renovation of the city areas of the building with an estimated completion date of, or move-in date of November 2021. The renovation and construction project is anticipated to cost $3.87 million, and with the $2.2 million purchase price added, the total amount would represent a little over $6 million. With interest, it bumps it up to $6.55 million. With the $2 million RCAP grant, the city would need approximately $4.55 million additional. I'm going to go back. The city contracted with an appraiser in mid-October to complete an appraisal. However, they were not able to provide the type of appraisal the city desired. So the city currently is negotiating with another company to have an appraisal completed. The county's assessment office has the building valued at $22 million. The city owns 23% of the property. However, the city needs an appraisal to move forward with negotiating with the county. Expenses that the city pays here at the municipal building would be very similar to what HAC incurs now for utilities and maintenance. Additionally, HAC would pay a share of that, so the city most likely would experience fewer expenses in this area. Regarding security, it's not customary for city offices to be a part of a county building with the row offices and the court system. The courts typically require the type of security you see here in the Lebanon County City Municipal Building. Also consider the district judges' offices have courtrooms, and they do not have security personnel screening visitors. Most banks in our county do not have security personnel. Most city offices in the nearby region do not have security personnel to perform screenings. However, we will have secured office areas and protected counter areas. This is very similar to Easton. I had visited Easton City Hall a few years ago, and when the public comes in, they're greeted at the counter, which we would have glass enclosed counter, so like someone couldn't jump over a counter to get into the secure area. They would talk to city personnel. If they needed to meet with a city employee, there would be an office area where they would have access into this meeting room, and then the city employee would enter in from a different door that would actually be locked and secured that the public would not be able to get into. You could only get in with a swipe or special access by an employee. That way the person would have free access to that room to meet with the employee, conduct business, do whatever they needed to do, and then they would leave so that our area would be secure. The front office would be more open, but the back office would be secured for the employees. The police department will perform sweeps of the building, and we will also establish an after-hours access for the police department, which will be similar to the current procedure we have in place for this building. I'm going to go back to the slide to try and So in the light gray area, that's the lobby area. And if you're familiar, I don't have a laser pointer, so I'm just going to point. So after hours, the public would come into the little secure entrance area where there's several doors on either side, and they would have to pick up a phone or something similar to what they do now and call county dispatch. And if there's a police officer on site, he or she would come out and meet the officer or meet the public, the resident, the business owner. If the police officer was out on the street, county dispatch would call the police officer just like they do now, and the police officer would meet them and either talk to them in the little lobby area or entrance area, I guess I should call it, or in this area right here, we're proposing for that to be in here an office area for city council, similar to what they have now. And this would be a conference room that if city council wanted to meet with a resident, they would have access to a conference room. But after hours, the police officer would take the public in here and meet with them so that after hours they would not be back in the police department for security purposes. Because if there's only one police officer that's in the building and 5 residents come in, we would not want to do that to a police officer. So we would keep them out of the department and have them meet here. Now, if there was something going on that involved more than that, of course, we're going to utilize our department and its operations as necessary. But for most times, it's just taking of information. So they would be in that area. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to point out. I guess not. So I know another concern would be parking. So the parking, well, first let me begin by stating that I totally understand that parking is a concern for many people, for the downtown businesses, for HAC students, for visitors, for downtown employees. And my vision for a better downtown incorporates both long and short-term goals. And great thought has been put to the best and highest uses for land and for downtown use. The garage phase mentioned hopefully should put downtown property owners and others more at ease, knowing that something better is coming and surface parking is only temporary. So please let me make it clear that these phases that I'm talking about, the moving of city offices and operations to the HAC campus and the parking garage, is one project. We submitted an application to the state, and that is the project, as well as an intermodal transit center with a partner, Lebanon Transit. So it would include more opportunities for public transit to be in one location and more of a hub, and improve the types of public transportation that would be available, hopefully. So again, this is all one project, but it will need to be phased because of the amount of funding that we've received. But we will apply for more RCAP funding next month, and again, we will apply for federal monies, and we will keep moving forward. But in the meantime, for a temporary solution, a temporary goal, these are the number of spaces that we would need. So to have a negative impact on the 7th and Willow parking lot, we would need to come up with 47 additional spaces, and that would mean that not a single employee or city vehicle would be parked in the 7th and Willow lot. So that is what our goal is, to find 47 other spaces, and we are working on that. So again, we propose to not add employees to the 7th and Willow lot. However, the HAC demand on this lot would probably increase. So we've asked HAC to consider obtaining an additional 30 spaces on private property. Their average daily attendance just this past fall 2019 semester was 342 students. Currently, students park in the free lot, in the designated permit parking areas, and in other nearby lots. I'm going to explain this a little bit here before I move on. So there are a total of 120 spaces in the 7th and Willow lot. There are 49 rental spaces, so the pink, which is mostly along the perimeter, those are the spaces that we rent out. There are 3 spaces right here at the top that are for Lebanon Transit. The green are some existing handicap spaces. This pink with the yellow slashes is spaces that HAC currently rents now, 6 spaces. And then these pink right here are rented spaces. All of the ones that in the center, the 20, 24, and 30, are the free spaces. There's 74 free spaces. This yellow highlighted area represents 30 spaces that would be for HAC professors and office staff. The parking behind HAC, so by building this garage, it would change the layout of the parking lot back there. There would be still, of course, parking, and we propose to have our emergency personnel have access to that first because it would be closest to the building. So like the police officers, police vehicles that do not fit in here, and the fire commissioner, and there would be a couple spots for the public and then additional handicap spacing here. So no, like I said, no employee, city employee would be parking in this area, but because some of the HAC professors would need to use some of the free spaces, that's why we've asked HAC to find an additional 30 spaces. Currently, and I'll have to show this to you on a different slide. So if you see the 2 yellow lines, not really a square, this would be on the east side of North 7th Street, near the Quittapahilla Creek. It would be near Fulton and Pennsylvania Counseling across the street from the Y. And then also on the north side of Willow Street from 7th to almost 5th. Currently, that is designated HAC permit parking. There are approximately 46 HAC on-street parking permit spaces available. However, not many students purchase these permits. They're $40 a semester because they can park for free in the 7th and Willow lot. We would be working with HAC to market those permit parking areas better and to almost require their usage. We also have other municipal lots in the vicinity, as you can see the yellow highlighted areas. But we're also considering other parking options that would, again, basically allow a negative impact on the 7th and Willow lot. I'm not at liberty right now because I'm currently negotiating with a property owner regarding property for additional surface parking. But please remember that any additional surface parking would be short-term with future redevelopment for the best and highest use. That's really important to note. That again, this is a phased project and the long-term goal would be the parking garage. So there are still some actions to finalize, but the goal, and I have continually stressed this, that the project can be accomplished without the need to raise taxes. As the project progresses, if it looks like that would be a necessity, then I would not recommend it to City Council. And that is it in a nutshell.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'll turn this off, but just in case someone has questions and
Sure.
I need to go back to a slide
Okay.
until they're done with the questions.
Oh, yeah, if you
I'll-
cover the light, that would be, yeah. Great. Okay, at this time, in front of council, we have resolution number 37, and that is authorizing the mayor of the city of Lebanon to execute an agreement of sale with Harrisburg Area Community College for the purchase of property at 735 Cumberland Street, Lebanon, which settlement shall be made on or before January 1st, 2021, as long as the price paid by the city does not exceed $2.2 million and the specific conditions discussed with council are included within a final agreement of sale. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 37. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, resolution number 37 has been moved and second. Council, any questions? I first of all want to thank the mayor for her super presentation and for the team that she has put together to bring this vision and project another step closer to being here.
You're welcome.
Any questions from
Can I
council?
say something
Sure.
quickly, please?
Go ahead,
Go
Wiley.
ahead, Wiley.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the fact that this is a comprehensive plan. I know that there's been a lot of effort expended over the years to try to move City Hall downtown. Unfortunately, it's never come to fruition. But I think the fact that this is a plan that wants to accomplish not just that, but other revitalization and activities that are going to be beneficial to the city, to the downtown area particularly, and bring about, perhaps an end to the constant concerns and complaints and issues that relate to parking in the city. Again, it's one thing to do it in a piecemeal fashion. It's another thing to do it comprehensively, and this clearly has been given a lot of thought toward the future of the city, and I just wanted to indicate in my last official act as a city council person, I really am impressed with the thought that's gone into this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wiley. Any other questions or comments from council? Okay. Any questions from media? We good? Okay. Thank you for coming. Okay. At this time, is there any questions or comments from the public? If there is, I do need you to stand and move to the podium and give your name and address, please. Yeah.
I don't know if it works. It's test. Oh.
My name is Joseph Connor. I'm an architect with Beers Hoffman Architecture. I live at 102 Ridge Road in Annville, Pennsylvania. However, I was born at 4th and the Creek in the city of Lebanon. On behalf of Mr. Hoffman, who could not be here tonight, who he himself obviously is a lifelong resident of the city of Lebanon, and our firm, Beers Hoffman, we've been working with the mayor and her team on the planning of this historic project for a number of years, as has been outlined. And we've been extremely pleased and impressed by the mayor and her team's detailed due diligence. If all our clients could be as well prepared as she has been prepared for this project. We feel that this is perhaps a perfect storm, the timing of this project opportunity, with HAC's interest in selling, the county's interest in the city's portion of the municipal building, and of course the city's receipt of the RCAP grant. As has been presented, and as is evident from some of the images, the HAC building is perfectly positioned in the heart of downtown Lebanon, and appears to be the answer to the vision of, obviously, Mayor Capello and others before her to move City Hall downtown. And the existing building, from an architect's perspective, will obviously lend the building very well to conversion to government offices. The mayor's vision and her persistence in achieving that vision is certainly to be commended and complimented. We were delighted to be invited, and we're happy to continue to assist in that effort. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joe.
Is there any other questions or comments from the public? Okay, here, yeah, sure.
The RCAP grant, the way the grant was originally submitted and approved, and now you have to go back and change it, is that, are you confident?
We think it's doable because when we had originally changed from the first submission to 7th and Willow the second time, we asked the Office of Budget, how difficult is it if something changes here, because we were still going back and forth between the two locations. How difficult is it to change the location? And they said that should not be a problem. So relying on that information that they previously gave us, we feel that it's doable. But it is something that we'll have to do, and that is why it's one of the contingencies.
Okay. Hearing no other questions or comments, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Wertz?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chairman Carey?
Yes, resolution number 37 unanimously moved.
Thank you.
I would like to say that moving our city offices downtown is a great step for the Lebanon city. And Mayor Capello and her administration continue to move us ahead in challenging times. Together, we all join with a continued vision and a purpose to make Lebanon the place to grow. I thank all who have the courage to stand with us. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have one final resolution on our special council meeting tonight, and that is resolution number 38. It is authorizing the filing of a grant application from the Lebanon County Commissioners Marcellus Shale Grant Fund for the preparation of a feasibility study for recreational needs to determine the best use for the site upon demolition of the Lawther Memorial Water Complex at Coleman's Park. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 38. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, resolution number 38's been moved and second. Mayor, could you kind of give us an overview on this, please?
Yes. So last month at the regular December 16th council meeting, City Council did make a motion to move forward with demolishing the Gingrich Memorial Swimming Pool based on a lot of due diligence in that regard as well. There were some comments made from the general public about a proposed use of the land, and DCNR was contacted, and they reached out to our office, and they suggested that we apply to the county's Marcellus Shale Gas Grant Program and also apply to DCNR to hire a consultant to do some planning work to address potential other recreational uses for the footprint of the pool. So not only would they look at the possibility of a splash pad, but maybe something else as well. So basically, they're indicating that this work would entail not only public input, which again, we already have done some of this, but this would be on a more grander scale. So public input, key person interviews, a development of a concept plan, cost estimates for construction, funding sources, etc. And Lori Yike, who is the Recreation and Conservation Manager for the Central PA Regional Office at DCNR, is the one who suggested this, and she indicated that if funding is able to be acquired from both the county and DCNR, that there would be no out-of-pocket expenses for the city. She suggested that we apply for both grant programs in 2020, and if successful, the funding for the study would begin in 2021. The reason why we needed to add it to this special council meeting agenda is because the county's application deadline is the end of the year.
Any comments, questions from council?
So, just one question. When you say other things, you mean in addition to, or they might come and say, put something else that's not water related?
They could. Now, the bike playground, that's different. That's not in the location of the pool. It's in the area that we have total control of, but the bike playground is moving forward. Once, hopefully, City Council adopts the memorandum of understanding at the January council meeting.
Any other questions from council? From media? Any questions on resolution number 38 from the public? Okay, hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Parker? Mr. Wertz? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Chairman Carey?
Yes. Resolution number 38, so moved. Okay. Final, is there any other questions or comments from council for the good of the city?
Thanks for accommodating me.
Thank you for calling in, Wiley.
Thank you for calling in. Enjoy the weather.
I'm sure it's better than you're having.
Any questions or comments for the good of
Yeah.
the city from council?
Well, it's obviously that I voted against the demolition of the pool, and the purpose was because I'm hoping there's a good solution, now that it's going to be demolition, that there's some type of water pad, park, whatever it is, and I'm hoping this study leads you in that direction, or you try to go in that direction, since there is no longer going to be a pool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from media? Okay. Any questions for the good of the city from the public? Okay, hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. We want to wish everyone here an incredible new year, and we're excited for where our city is heading.
Gavel. What's that?
We only have a few more hours.